And bear in mind, this is the player who, when Zhao Xintong won the World Championship last year, I think gave him his toughest match in the qualifiers. From the sound of that tip, it sounds very hard indeed, much like Mark Williams.
Yeah, it certainly does. Sounds very similar to Mark's tip. Just listen to the sound when he strikes the cue ball. Very hard.
That time when Williams turned up at the British Open and lost to Rory Thor, I honestly thought he would jettison that tip within the hour, but he stuck with it. Now he's completely at home.
Yeah, that was. I'm pretty sure that was a new cue as well, Phil, that he was using on that particular day.
It was.
I think I told him to put that cue in the bin. Obviously, he didn't listen to me, and a few months later, he was winning tournaments again.
Yeah, but this Q-tip sound, as Lee said, sounds almost identical.
Yeah, and Elliott's manoeuvring these very, very nicely. It's an excellent break so far. He hasn't had a lot to work with. Black's up on the green spot. He's got these reds into a nice position. Really hear the sound of that tip there when he just rolling the ball through like a little ting. Just goes to show how hard it is.
The Black's been marooned in an unaccustomed position for quite some time. Wanted to play on it, but he caught that red slightly too thick. The cue ball consequently didn't travel as far as he thought it would. So there was some kind of debate in Slessor's mind as to whether to take the Black on now. He's got three choices: blue, black, or even green. None of them particularly appetising. Well, he played that one beautifully.
Yeah, that was a lovely shot. Of course, when potting the black, there is a red still on the black spot, so black will stay on the green spot. I must say, this is an excellent break.
Yeah, it's the ultimate fusing of luck and skill. The luck to get in with the fluke. But since then, it's been pure skill.
Yeah, when you do get a bit of good luck at this game, you've got to make the most of it. That's exactly what Elliott is doing here. He was only a couple of pots away from taking this first frame. So excellent break of 55, but he's not over the line yet. Surprising miss on the red. Still enough points for Rob to win this first frame, but wasn't really close to that red. But unless there's a red next to the pink, the pots, he's got away with it. So still in this frame.
I think it'll be very interesting to see how Milkins plays today. He's been a big figure on the tour for many a year, real character, and suddenly his tour membership is no more. He dropped off the tour at the end of last season, didn't finish in the top 64, went to Q School, no good there, and so after a lifetime spent as a tour member, he's got to adjust to not being one.
Very close to the pot. So first decent chance for Rob.
You know, this and the shootout might be the only times we see him on TV this year. Presumably he's going to play on the Q Tour and try and regain his status. But it must be so hard psychologically for someone who's been there, pretty near the top of the tree, to accept the fact he's now in the second division.
Yeah, I mean, it was only a few years ago, 2023, he beat Sean Murphy to win the Welsh Open. And of course, also won the BetVictor bonus as well. Probably that tournament the highlight of Rob's career. Also won the Gibraltar Open in 2022, beating Karen Wilson in the final. And been as high as number 12 in the rankings. So like you said, Phil, to now not be on tour. Very strange feeling for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, and he's no spring chicken, 50 years of age.
Nothing wrong with being 50, Phil.
Wish I was. Well, it was with a 50-plus break that Slessor established the platform. And now he's guaranteed to take the opening frame. The last two shots have been excellent. Academic, but excellent.
Yeah, that was pretty good as well. Struck that one with the rest beautifully.
couple of mistakes in mid-frame. A fluke to get things started, but all in all, a very encouraging introduction to the day. So breaks of 55 and 62. Elliot Slessor off to a very agreeable start. He leads Rob Milkins by 1 frame to 0. Not 1-0 yet on table 2, but it looks as though Jimmy Robertson is going to win it. He's 41 in front of Harmin Mir, 35 on. Mir needing a couple of snookers, but he's laid a pretty useful one here.
Yeah, just watching that shot that Hamid played. That snooker was a total fluke. So he's got one of the snookers.
He's got a phenomenal eye for a pot, Harmin Mir. From distance, he's one of the most dangerous players you're ever likely to see. Just fires them in from all over the place.
Yeah, he's a very dangerous player, Hamid.
That seals the opening frame in Robertson's favour, surely. I'm trying to look for crumbs of comfort for Rob Milkins here. Well, one of them is that he leads their head-to-head. 5 meetings between Milkins and Slessor. Milkins has won 3 of them, all in ranking events. 4-3 last 64 English Open 2018, 5-1 first round German Masters the following year, and the 2020 European Masters 5-2. In fact, this is their first meeting for 6 years, and I think Slessor is a much improved player over those last 6 years.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think he's, over the last few years, he's really turned himself into a top player. And he started off very confidently here. Good long red from Rob's break off. Only gets 5 points from it though. That's an excellent red from Rob Milkins.
on Saturday we were watching Tepchira and Nu from Thailand, and I think Milkins is cut from the same cloth. At his best, he's simply inspirational. Just pokes the cue at the ball and they seem to fall in. But as you get older, you can rely less and less on coordination.
Didn't have a lot of angle on the blue there. Tried to force it down with a lot of side spin. But he's found a plant. He's okay. You can pot this. There's a red at the bottom of the pack with a pot. Unfortunately, he's missed the blue.
I'll be very interested if he decides to play on the cue to Rob Milkins, how he fares.
I think he is going to play on the cue tour, Phil. Just speaking to him upstairs. He's going to give it a go.
Well, Slessor giving this a go. Lovely shot. Caught the meat of the pack and they opened beautifully.
Yeah, they certainly did. Okay. Looks like the black is out of play for the moment, but blue and pink in the open. Lots of reds in the open. It's an excellent chance.
I must say, aesthetically, I don't like the sound of that tip. I've got to be honest, but it's working beautifully.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to him in the players' lounge and said that the cue he uses has very little deflection, so when he plays with side, doesn't really push that much, and certainly with that tip, that will help with that. He would obviously love to be able to pot that red that's next to the black. That would really open everything up. Not sure if that red is on though. Well, I think he's okay. The red that he's closest to with the cue ball will pot. Yeah, no problem.
Slessor would love to do what he did at the same stage of the Championship League last season. Came in, won 3 matches out of 3 for a maximum 9 points, dropped only a couple of frames. And in that group was Oliver Brown, Mark Lloyd and Stan Moody.
Just slightly lost the cue ball here. He still fancy him to pot this blue, but not absolutely straightforward. Well, he obviously thinks that this red by the black will pot, because that's what he's played for. Looks to be inch perfect. He's judged the cannon on the black, so if he can pot this black, Get nicely on a red. You'd fancy. You can see all those reds potable. One good shot. Could be a frame winner.
I would go so far as to say it should be. At the majority of his ranking points last season, early on, got to the semi-final of the Saudi Arabia Masters in August last year, losing out to the eventual champion Neil Robertson. In that, in 3 successive matches, he beat 3 world champions: John Higgins, Stuart Bingham and Mark Williams. But there's no doubt the biggest disappointment of last season in many respects. English Open. He opened up with wins over Jimmy Robertson, Gary Wilson and Judd Trump. Things were going so well, it seemed, when he took a 4-0 lead over Mark Allen in the quarterfinals. He lost that match 5-4. Allen completing a whole string of unlikely recoveries and eventually capturing the title. I think that knocked Slessor back because he had chances to get over the line. I commentated on that match, and I think that was a real blow, because for the rest of the season, yeah, he had his moments. But it all sort of fizzled out.
He's going along very nicely here, though. Already 42 points in front. So black puts in 49 in front, so just one more red. It's an excellent start.
And as we saw yesterday, as Liam Davis doesn't need reminding, the value of high breaks can be considerable, so it's worth keeping his concentration here after potting this, which is frame ball. Slessor will be annoyed about that, but he's 50 in front with 43 on, so Milkins needs a couple of snookers.
Yeah, the red is in excellent position. Rob can pot the blue. It's almost guaranteed snooker in behind the pink.
Yeah, by potting the blue, though, he now needs 3 snookers, so more than likely, if he's going to salvage this frame, he has to hope for a free ball.
Yeah, that would be me. Elliot's main focus here. Obviously, he's trying to hit the red, but he'll be playing everything in such a way that if he did miss, he doesn't leave a free ball. It's a nicely played shot from Rob. Again, Elliott just thinking of which way to come, which virtually guarantees he won't leave a free ball. There you go. So he has missed the red, but he's not left a free ball. If he had gone the other way, could have possibly, or maybe played it a bit harder, could have left a free ball there. Knows his opponent still needs 2 snookers.
But with the red over the pocket, Rob Milkins realises the frame is effectively over and concedes. So Elliott Slessor, good value for a 2-0 lead. He started off very nicely indeed. As for table 2, well, Ahmed Mir built a reasonable lead in the second frame, but Robertson's got a wonderful chance here to steal in when it matters most. We talked about Ron Milkins losing his card at the end of last season. Almost happened to Robertson. Went to his last match a few years back. But he just about dug out the win he needed. He was on the precipice.
Yeah, there have been quite a few players over the years that have been in situations like that. I can remember talking to Mark Davis, who unfortunately did drop off the tour at the end of last season. I remember talking to him many, many years ago, and him telling me that he was going to finish playing because 2 tournaments left. He had to get to a quarter-final and then qualify for the Crucible. Otherwise, he was off tour. And that's exactly what he did.
Milkins looking down the barrel already. It is possible for someone who loses their first match 3-0 to win a group, but it's highly unlikely. And it's not completely in your hands when you do that. You have to rely on other factors.
Yeah, and especially when you lose that match to the #1 seed in the group as well. It's a good safety though. Just coming off the cushion to drop on the red, which is closest to the right hand black pocket. Just gonna have to play this one again. A slight adjustment. Adjusted it too much. Didn't want to hit the red on that side. So, chance for Rob.
And there I was, all doom and gloom, talking about a 3-0 defeat. Look at it the other way. If he can come back to kind of 2-2 draw, things are looking a lot rosier. That was the case with Dean Young the other day, the amateur from Scotland. He was 2-0 down in his first match against Tebchira Nu. Had a couple of big breaks to gain a draw and then went from strength to strength and ended up topping the table. And talking of Dean Young, he's through to Group H in the second phase. And he'll be joined there by the winner of this group. In fact, we will know the entire Group H lineup at the end of today, because the winner of this group will join Young, Zusa and Jackson Page.
Yeah, and yet again we see I had to play that, played a poor shot from the black, really left the red much too straight, so I had to force it to get up for the black. These pockets are much tighter this year. They've got to be so accurate if you're playing them with any pace.
And we saw there the pent-up anger within Rob Milkins. You can understand why. His professional life has fallen apart, let's face it.
Well, he could try to get this cue ball in behind the black and certainly bring some reds into play here. As he fluked another one. Not quite. Now, is this a slightly bigger pocket off the red? Oh, I didn't need it.
How often do you see that when there's a big pocket and the player just gets down with total confidence and knock it in directly?
And now this is a really good chance for Rob. He's already 36 points in front. Plenty of loose reds. Doesn't have to play any cannons. Just keep nice control of that cue ball.
And you can't help but root for him, can you, really? The situation he finds himself in. Just hope he has a relatively lucrative day. Eighth on the qualifying school order of merit. So he's definitely going to be playing in the shootout, that's a given. He might squeeze into one or two more tournaments, but not many more than that.
Yeah, he did manage to get into the China Open qualifiers. Won his opening match against Liu Zitao, 6-4 before losing 6-3 to Long Xiong. But like you said, Phil, don't think he's going to get in that many, being 8th.
But we're seeing here just what he's capable of. He's a loss to the tour.
Yeah, he's very, very good to watch. He's practicing at a new club, playing at the Maxi Lounge in Yate. So maybe that'll give him a bit of fresh input into his game. Hopefully he can do well in the Q Tour and get back on the tour next season. He's taken these very nicely. Excellent red to start off with. And like I said, breaks can be important, as we've seen yesterday in Liam Davis's group, so still want to try and clear these if he possibly can. It's a nice workout for the referee as well.
Yeah, need some trainers on. So this is the highest break of the match, at least.
71.
I think this underlines what we've been talking about all week. The tour these days, from top to bottom, has never been more powerful. As he hits the wrong ball there. He's off the tour and he's a great player, Rob Milkins, as he showed there with a break of 77. So he could still salvage a draw here, and that could be mightily important. Elliot Slessor's lead reduced to 2-1. As we suspected the last time we were over at table 2, Jimmy Robertson had a great chance to win the second frame from behind. He did win it. And so just one more frame required for him to get off to a winning start, the top seed in Group 23. Mentioned before where the winner of Group 9 on table 1 would slot in the next phase. Well, the Group 23 winner would go into Group G in the second phase to take on two players as yet unknown and Zhang Gander. Always enjoy watching Robertson play. The only time I don't like to see him play is when he plays Neil Robertson. It's a commentator's nightmare. Well, that's him a bit haphazard. Did he play the red off the brown, I wonder?
Yeah, I think he was just playing to screw the white back to the black cushion and use the brown as a stopper for the red. Unfortunately, the red did come down and leave a good chance for Jimmy, but it's actually worked out in his favour now.
Mia is a player much like Milkins who gets on with it, builds his game on potting success. Made a superior start to frame 2, but it counted for nothing. From here, Mir should get his first frame on the board. We'll let you know as we go back for the final frame of what's been an entertaining opening contest on table 1, in which Elliot Slessor leads Rob Milkins 2-1.
Well, Elliot knocked in a very similar red to this from Rob's last break off. Can he do it again? Certainly can.
If you can do that on a regular basis, Lee, it's such an asset.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the reasons why Mark Williams used to come off the back of the pack and just drop into the pack after playing Sean Murphy in the Masters one year. Every time he broke off, Sean Murphy potted a red off his break. So, doesn't look to be any more loose reds, so he's going to have to play a cannon. Not sure what angle he has. Looks like it's the green. He's played that very nicely. Excellent shot.
Yeah, for a moment I thought he was going to be unfortunate and not drop on anything, but the red then came behind the black, and that's the one. He's knocked in. Well, this is prime position at the business end of the table.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday what an important shot the break-off is now in snooker. You know, Rob broke off just almost tight to the cushion. He might not get another shot in this frame.
Yeah, when Mark Williams started that break off into the pack, the reaction was at times hysterical, wasn't it? Couldn't believe the responses and the reactions it created. People were saying it should be banned and all this kind of stuff. Why? It's a perfectly legitimate shot. Not that Mark minds stirring the pot. Play for the cannon on the red to remain on the black, and he didn't achieve it.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed there. Played some excellent shots to get these reds in a nice position to go on and win the frame, and be disappointed to only score 24.
By the way, one final note on the Mark Williams tickle into the pack, which he doesn't do that often now. It wasn't anything new. I remember Steve Davis doing it on occasions, Darren Morgan.
Yeah, it did cause quite a bit of fuss at the time, I can remember. He said it's a legitimate shot, and you know, it would only last maybe 2 or 3 shots and it'd be back to normal, so I really didn't see the problem with it. Like you said, felt if it's a bit controversial, just made Mark do it even more.
Well, I remember that time on social media he put out that tweet describing the Crucible in a rather uncomplimentary way, and it was tongue-in-cheek. He loves the Crucible, but it cost him a fortune in fines. I think it's fair to say that the man you coach, Lee, is his own man.
I was asked, I did an interview and I was asked to describe him in one word, and the best word that I could find was unique. Some good safety here from both players.
The one thing with Williams, I think he's the most unchanged sportsman. He's won 3 world titles, so many trophies, and yet he's completely the same as he's always been.
Yeah, is that a good thing, Phil?
Authentic. He's knocking some good balls in, Slessor.
Yeah, that was excellent shot. It's quite easy to see why Elliott is so high up in the rankings. Good long potting, scores well, plays good safety. It's a pretty good combination. What a great red that was. The only red he could hit. Now, can he pot the pink and can he get on a red? Can he get through the gap? He could. Unfortunately, got very close to the pot, but it's not gone in.
Just quickly, as we see this replay where the red grazes the near jaw, I can tell you that Ahmed Mir did win the 3rd frame on table 2, so Jimmy Robertson is 2-1 up.
Sure, if he's got the angle, could get in behind the yellow here. Most people associate Rob Milkins as a fantastic long potter, which of course he is. Break builder. He's made 3 maximum breaks in his career, but he's also a tremendous safety player. I think that's probably a part of his game that goes a little bit unnoticed.
Yeah, he is clever. Got tablecraft. He also uses a very sturdy cue, doesn't he? That's why he generates so much cue power. Or one of the reasons, at least. What a big frame this is for both. Yes, first match of the day, but it could mould the whole group.
Yeah, that's another excellent safety. Little tap on the table there from Rob. Is he eyeing up this long red? He was. Now where's he going to finish?
As we've said, he's 50 now, Milkins, but he plays a young man's game. Always been very attacking. And if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. What must be going through his mind right now?
Yeah, when he pots this red, he can get on the pink. Just a little bit awkward at the moment. I'm not sure if he's just coming around to see if what pots. Not sure if the two reds that are closest to the black spot, if any of those pot into the left-hand corner. Yeah, it's just a little bit awkward. Obviously those two reds to the left of the black won't pot, otherwise I think Elliott would have played for those there. You can see they don't, so just coming around. He could play for red in the middle. He could play, I think he's got the angle to play a little cannon to the two reds closest to the bottom cushion, so just what choice, what he wants to play. Could possibly only just played for the single red, didn't need to play the cannon. Now has he judged it? Looks like he has. Wasn't a lot of margin of error there.
Coaxed that in with side. You could see from the overhead view he was playing with extreme side, and that just allowed the red to flick over. It's not been mistake-free, Slessor's performance, but I think it has been impressive. You have to say that.
Yeah, very solid. Okay, he has missed a couple, but he has looked pretty good. Now 40 points in front. So black, red, high value colour. See there that the red closest to the pink definitely pots. Not sure about the other one. He's just having a look at that. You can see the one closest to the pink is definitely potable. So just the blue. Elliott Slessor will be off to a great start.
And after a period of disappointment for Rob Milkins, has to deal with some more. Well, he caught the other red first there, but the red he intended to pot went in regardless. And so this match is now definitely over. Again, though, don't let down the guard. Slessor's highest break so far, 62. Well, I was about to say he could well better that, but he's drastically overscrewed. So Milkins wanted to concede with Slessor at the table, but with breaks counting, I can understand Slessor wanting to continue. He didn't pot the red, but he potted the majority of the balls in a match which he won by 3 frames to 1. Next up on table 1, Lee Walker will remain in commentary with David Hendon for Liam Pullen against Liu Wenway.
Every new beginning starts with courage. And round here, we have that in spades. One shot, the break, it changes everything. Made better by pressure. two rivals at every table. A crowd free to live in the moment. From the four corners of the globe, the greatest players arrive, chasing more than a title. $500,000. 6 days of pure drama and unrivaled tension. And when it comes down to the final, they'll need every lucky seven. Take 8 seconds to steady the heart and sink the 9 for glory. The U.S. Open. Witness history in Frisco, Texas.
Welcome back to the Mattioli Arena in Leicester. We've got a meeting of two youngsters here, 20-year-old Liam Pullen and 22-year-old Lou Wenway. Just to say, on table 2, it finished 2-2 between Jimmy Robertson and Hamad Mir. So it'll be Martin O'Donnell, Anthony Kowalski in a few minutes' time. Lou is a second-season professional from China. Struggled a bit on his first year. That's not unusual. Didn't get past a last 64. Liam Pullen, of course, we saw reach a quarter-final out at the Zhang Grand Prix and also made his Crucible debut. He lost to Chris Wakelin in round 1, but he seemed to enjoy himself in Sheffield. He won 4 matches to qualify. Wasn't too close with that one, but he's clearly, both of them are at an age where, you know, they're really striving to improve and try and find something on the World Snooker Tour. Liam Pullen, of course, did drop off, got back on through Q School. Yeah, he beat, as that cue ball just runs in behind the yellow, he beat the likes of Tepcharandu and Noppen Senkom to qualify for the Crucible. So he pulled up trees just to get there. As we know, there was only one actual top 16 player lost in round 1, Serge Alway to Hussein Vafai. But Lee, as he leaves that short, we talk a lot about the young Chinese talent, but it's worth remembering there's a lot of young talent in the UK as well. I know Liam Davies was a bit unlucky to miss out last night. We've got Stan Moody later in the week, and of course this young man as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see, you know, some young players from the UK coming through, and also some young players from Europe as well. You know, we've got one of those on the other table. Anthony Kowalski qualified for the Crucible this year. Of course, Liam Pullen also came close to getting the 2 147s last season and getting the bonus as well. That's not on offer this year. I think too many people did it last year, so they've stopped that one.
Yeah, of course, Ronnie O'Sullivan in Saudi, Chang Big-Yu as well did it in the UK and the world. As you say, Liam came close to repeating what he did in the UK qualifying in the world qualifying. It's only money though, isn't it? He has not got through in the China World Opens. Neither of them have actually. So it's Championship League, just a chance to get going again. On the end of season rankings, Liam Pullen, so this is very provisional with points being factored in, he's 54, so at the moment he's well inside that 64 cut-off, but of course things can change tournament by tournament.
has left Liam a chance at a red, but it's awkward queuing with the green. He's got a good cue ball, but I think he's left the gap. It's close. Can he get through to the red on the left-hand corner? He'll settle for that. Managed to find the gap and finish pretty nicely on the blue. Just needs to miss the red. If he'd missed the red, he'd have had a nice easy one to the centre pocket. Still got one with the rest, but a bit of pressure on this one now. He knows if he misses this, he's going to be leaving Liam Pullen nice chance. Like you said, Dave, he did only one match in the qualifiers, but it was a very good win. He beat Jamie Clark by 5 frames to 3, but he didn't do that by missing reds like that.
Feels for Liam Pullen to stand a chance today. This is a match he needs to win because the other two are tough, of course. Slessor, who's already won, and Robert Milkins can beat anybody, so could do with the 3 points, I think, out of this one. Bit of an uncertain start, though. That was not close. Martin O'Donnell and Anthony Kowalski underway on table 2.
Struck that one nicely.
Came to the Oceania Q School. There's 2 Q schools, one in the UK and that one's based out in Thailand. So that was at the start of last season, so this is the second year of his card. He needs to do something dramatic to keep his card. Did beat Luca Brissell last season, though, in the qualifiers for the International Championship. You know, so he's clearly... Well, he wouldn't be on the tour if he wasn't a good player. It's just about raising your level once you get on the tour and dealing with the pressure and all the difficult matches you're going to have.
Yeah, I actually watched that match. Played very well. Very well. And he's taken these very nicely so far. He's still only 22 years of age, so still plenty of time.
Well, he only made 1 century last season, but he did make it in this. It was a 1-3-4 in this very tournament. And he's heavy favourite to win this opening frame now.
Yeah, and he's taken these really nicely. Wasn't a great chance when he came to the table. He'd already missed that pretty comfortable red to the middle on his last visit. So this is a really good effort. Lead goes to 57 points, so just concentrate on taking the 2 reds in the open. He won't need the 4 awkward reds, and he's played that one really nicely.
Yeah, Pullen had a couple of half chances. He missed a long red initially, and then that red with the rest to the yellow pocket, which really didn't threaten. No, is he on this pink? Well, it would appear not. So looking at the blue, it goes in. Pullen needs a snook, and as Lee says, the table's awkward. So just try and focus on potting this blue. Well, he certainly did that. He's absolutely powered it in. So there we go. Lou Wenway on this red as well. Should be 1-0 to him.
Yeah, second good blue he's knocked in this break.
Yeah, I mean, he had a few good wins. I mentioned Brissell last season. He beat Mark Davis, Joe O'Connor. You know, some good players along the way. Just didn't get on a run in a tournament. But he's 75 in front here with 59 on. And Liam Pullen nods his head, and that is 1-0 to Lou Wenway. So Pullen, as I say, probably for him a match he needs to win, considering how hard the group is. He's not a good start. Have to win the last 3 frames. They're underway on table 2. Martin O'Donnell, the Minister of Defence, as he's affectionately known, and Anthony Kowalski, of course, from Poland, who dramatically kept his tour card last season by qualifying for the Crucible. First Polish player to play there. And they're just getting going. This is a very tough group, actually. Jimmy Robertson and Hamad Mir have already drawn 2-2, which is, I suppose, a good score for these two. We know O'Donnell gives it absolutely everything, and Kowalski, bit of a mercurial talent, so it's going to be hard to pick a winner today. It's one of those groups, I wouldn't be surprised if there are a few more draws, actually. I think they're quite evenly matched, so it might come down to high breaks, maybe.
Have we ever had a group where all the matches are drawn, Dave?
We've had at least one, because I remember Dave Gilbert, this is a couple of years ago, he had to make, I can't remember exactly the break, but it was a century. He had to make a specific break, and he did, in the very last frame. Amazing, really. So it has happened. It's obviously quite rare. We had last week the group won by Jackson Page. He was the only player to win a match in the group. All the others were drawn, but of course that win got him through. But yeah, I mean, we saw yesterday Ben Wollaston finished 3rd on 6 points. You can actually win a group with 3, can't you? Because if every match is drawn, then you'll be on 3 points, but it goes on the high break. That continues on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. So Pullen didn't make much of a dent in that first frame, but there's still time. I did wonder about that, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how it will work. Liam Pullen was runner-up to his great junior rival Stan Moody in the World Snooker Federation Junior Open back in 2023. It'd be interesting how those two fared this season, because they've had a taste of the big time, haven't they, at the Crucible? You know, they made a bit of a splash, particularly Stan. But now it's back to reality, and that's a mistake, catching the bump of the pocket.
Yeah, and it can be difficult sometimes to carry on where you left off from the previous season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Lee, you got to the quarterfinals, didn't you? You know, the first time you were at the Crucible. And I'm sure there must have been people in your head telling you you're going to do this, that, and the other. But it's not that easy, is it, when you get the cue out again? It's hard.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I can remember Clive Everton coming up to me and saying, "You're definitely going to be a top 16 player." Unfortunately, Davey was incorrect.
Well, yeah, there's still time, Lee. You never know. Dust the cue off again. Yeah, the truth is there's no certainties in sport. There really isn't. I mean, you know, Jimmy White, if you watched him play as a young man, you'd think guaranteed world champion, probably multiple times.
Yeah, it's very early on in the season. We've already had a couple of qualifiers. Unfortunately for Liam, he did win his first match in the China Open, beat Ryan Thomason 6 frames to 5 before losing 6-4 to Dave Gilbert. And he lost his opening match in Wuhan to Liam Davis. So only one win in the opening 2 qualifiers. So you'll be looking to get a good run in this tournament. Still very, very early in the season, but you want to try and obviously get off to the best possible start you can.
Clearly imperative there to get a good cue ball, opening the reds up.
Good safety shot this time from Liam. Good length of the cue ball. He's also put that cue ball in pretty tough place here for his opponent. He's played a very good shot there. That's a nice kiss as well on the brown. a little bit of trouble here, Ian Pullen. He's played a very good shot there. The two cushion glancing shot. Played it very well.
Yeah, quite often you see the player sort of a little cautious first time, you know, miss them all together, just sort of trying to find the line, but he found it superbly there.
Nice target there though for Liu behind the yellow and the brown. He's played it pretty well. Don't think there's any path back to the ball again for Liam. Certainly not direct off a red anyway. Played the same shot again, just to glance the reds that are close to the pink spot. So, cue ball will be going back. Have another go. You can have one more go at this. If he does miss it this time, as you can see, he can definitely hit a red full ball, so he can have one more go, and then he has to hit a red.
I couldn't plot that red, but I could like to see it third ball. This is slightly back. Spot on.
Take two then. Yeah, so as Lee says, a second miss and the warning is going to come.
So, change of shot. Looking to just drop into these reds. Looks pretty good. Will trying to put him in a similar position. Again, nice target behind that yellow and brown.
Yeah, he's been kept on the back foot in this match. He's not really seen any easy pots, and most of the time he hasn't seen anything. He's been on that on or near that cushion.
Well, looks like he's pretty straight on this red, so take this red to the middle and run through, maybe get on the pink. Or the blue. And he's played it very nicely. It was an excellent shot. But he won't be too pleased with that one. Overhit that one. So Back in behind that yellow and brown again.
Well, Liam may as well pull up a chair there. Playing every shot from the same spot.
Is Liam Pullen taking this long red on? He did. Having missed it, he's been very fortunate to finish there. Could have easily left a nice easy starter there. I think we're in for a little bit of stalemate now. There's a red covering, sorry, on the green pocket, so
Re-rack.
Well, early call from Liam Pullen for the re-rack. Of course, Lou Wenway's 16 points in front. May affect his thinking. Didn't seem to be any response at all from him, just completely blanked him.
I think that means no. Yeah, he didn't want the re-rack. He's quite entitled to do that. Can pot this red, but it's going to take a good shot to get position. Well, he had a good go. He's giving himself a little bit of a problem here. I'm not sure if he can just come off the black, play the cue ball up towards the yellow pocket. I think he can. Yeah. Doesn't want it to go in, though. So frame back to normal. Just caught the green there, but can't pot the red. It's closest to the middle pocket. Good safety from Liam. And he's also nudged the black into a better position. And this could bring a few reds into play. Well, he tried to play the red as closest to the middle pocket, screw that into the reds on the side cushion. Unfortunately, he's miscued.
Not one for a big reaction, is he? Again, you wouldn't have known. I mean, it was a horrible shot, actually. A horrible thing to happen. And this is what Liam Pullen's been looking for the whole match. A chance to get in and get scoring. So it's come about in an orthodox manner. Let's see how many he can make. He's already had 4 centuries, actually, this season, although he didn't qualify for either of the Chinese ranking events. He still scored pretty well. Now, a little bit of tape's been stuck over a logo that wasn't supposed to be on display, so he's just making sure that doesn't come off mid-shot. Yeah, he did very well to return through the Q school immediately, so he was on for the initial 2 years, and then it was last year he got back on again immediately, so didn't have to go back to the amateur game. And as I say, got to the Xi'an Grand Prix quarterfinals. He beat John Higgins actually to qualify, so you know that was a great win. And he's just looking now to keep on improving.
Yeah, some excellent wins last season. And some excellent wins to qualify for the Crucible. His opening match against Alfie Burden, which he eventually won by 10 frames to 9. Could have easily have been 6-2 behind. He won't be happy with that one, though. Not quite settled yet. Again, wasn't a brilliant chance the way the Reds are situated, but he'd be disappointed to miss that one. So we've already seen quite a few shots across the cushion. Missed in this tournament. Only got to drop this one in, so you'd fancy him to pot it, but again, it's just caught the jaw. And they are now not going in. See it again, just catches the bottom cushion.
Well, clearly Pullen just looking for a frame to settle here, and he's got a second chance in this one. Albeit, again, he's going to have to develop these reds. match. He played at the Crucible, he played Chris Wakelin. He held him to 5-all. He made a century, you know, which was a great thing to do at the Crucible. But then just faded a bit. Chris got stronger, won 10-6. Just lost the cue ball here.
Yeah, I actually commentated on the end of that match. Like I said, it's hard to pick a winner at one stage, but it's very difficult. First appearance to play well there.
Well, a terrific recovery.
Yeah, played that very well. Red must be pretty tight with the look on his face. Well, I don't think that could have finished any worse. If he goes past the blue, he's got nicely on the blue. Cannons it fuller. He's got the pink. Well, he's still taking the pink on, but not sure how much of this cue ball he can hit, whether he can get to the middle. And that was the problem. He had to play that with a little bit of side. And that was a really tough shot. Might have looked easy. I'm going to show you it wasn't.
Now, will Lu Wenway attempt here to bring a few reds into play with this shot? He's going to have to open the table up. It's been a scrappy frame. Well, that's one more that's come out anyway.
Played that one well. Don't think the red passes the green, so he's a bit straight on the blue, so he's going to play the green and then he can get on that red into the same pocket. So I'm potting this red, needs a nice angle on the colour. Pink looks a pretty good ball to get on. If you can get on that with a nice angle, you can bring these reds into play. Doesn't want to be straight on this pink though. Yeah, he didn't have enough angle to play into the reds.
19.
Too straight on the pink. So just a safety shot.
Martin O'Donnell, he's going to win the first frame against Anthony Kowalski. That's similar to this frame actually. It was quite disjointed, but O'Donnell on the scoreboard. because the yellow could yet play a part in this frame, more than likely to where it is.
Yeah, certainly going to take a good pot to pot the yellow down the cushion. Misjudgment with the safety. So let's see how Liam goes about this clearance. So he pots this red. It's going to need an angle. Will he choose to play on the yellow, or will he choose to move it off the cushion? You've got to pot the red first. That's a few with the rest. He's missed. At least 3. Didn't expect him to miss that one. And he was quite fortunate not to leave the red on.
Well, all the frames count the same. This has been quite sort of dragged out, but it's a very important one. It's nearly half an hour. But of course, if Wenway can win it, then he's guaranteed at least a point, and he has the potential to join Elliot Slessor on 3.
Good cue ball there, Lou, but most important part of that shot was making sure you get the red safe. And he didn't. That was an excellent pot. Okay, it's only going to get him 1 point, but it was an excellent pot from Liam Pullen. Thinking if he comes off the cushion, plays the snooker behind the black. Yeah, he thought about that. Played a good shot there because the brown, I think, is kind of in the way for Luke to just play off the baulk cushion and drop on this yellow. So he thinks he can come across and drop on it. And he's not. No. Liam can pot this yellow. Can he take it on? Can he pot the green then, though? Well, the green, I'm thinking if he's taking it on, that tells me the green passes the black. But yet again, you can see how much tighter These pockets are playing this year.
Yeah, so he set up the chance, couldn't take it, can Lou Wenway, 7 behind.
Yeah, just needs one good positional shot here. That's pretty good. Great chance now for a 2-0 lead.
Well, you can see now why he didn't take that re-rack. Still got to see this out, though.
Yeah, and he didn't play the best of shots there. Just let that cue ball go a little bit. He's going to have to pot this brown and go around the table to get on the blue. I don't think the blue will pass the black. Just wanted that cue ball. That just runs another couple of inches. Not about a easy blue to the middle pocket.
It sort of sums up the whole frame, doesn't it? It's been hard work, this frame, and it continues to be. Now, where's this blue? Over the pocket, and he's not got cover.
Yeah, that was a really poor shot. Again, in that situation, the main thing you have to do, you have to get that blue safe.
So, in the end, Liam Pullen needs this pink to win the frame. It's been hard work, and it looked like he had lost it when he missed the yellow. Just one more pot required to level the match at 1 each. He'll be delighted. It wasn't the prettiest frame, but he doesn't care. He's won it, and Liam Pullen on the scoreboard. And of course, it means we're guaranteed 2 more frames. He still has the chance to join Elliot Slessor on 3 points because he beat Robert Milkins earlier. 3-1. Table 2, Martin O'Donnell and Anthony Kowalski. This was a low score in first frame, but O'Donnell won it. And he's 13 points in front, as you can see in the next. Yeah, the highest break, 23 in that opening frame. But as I say, they all count the same. Of course, if you can make a century, then that could help later in terms of the count back if it goes on high breaks, which it did last night on table 2 quite dramatically with Liam Davies. That 1-2-1 looked like it would be enough, and then Noppen Senkom against Ben Wollaston made a 1-2-3.
Yeah, Liam was driving home last night, chose not to look at the result, knew he needed Ben Wollaston to win 3-1. And when I phoned him, he said, "What a great result, happy days, I'm through." And I said, "You didn't look at the scores, did you?" "No, why is that?" And then I had to, unfortunately, had to tell him that Noppen had made a 1-2-3.
Amazing. I mean, it wasn't as if it was like he had to beat 100. He had to beat 121. So fair play to Noppen. Unlucky to Liam and to Ben, who won 2 matches and finished in 3rd position. Kowalski, I think he's got a bit of star quality about him. We saw him at the Crucible. Of course, having qualified to keep his tour card. But again, as with Liam Pullen and the other guys, it's back to work this season. And this is always a hard match against Martin O'Donnell, former Welsh Open runner-up. Always gives it everything. So that continues live, of course, on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. O'Donnell stays on to play Hamad Mir. Liam Pullen here will stay on to play Robert Milkins. But what is the score going to be? 1-1 now. Could easily have been 2-0 down. Very poor shot that Lou played on the blue. Trying to get the snooker behind the black, put the blue over the pocket.
One.
Yeah, and it wasn't the best break-off shot either. Good opening red from Liam. He's going to need another good shot here, though. And good pot.
Four.
Yeah, and another good pot as well. Be very relieved, I'm sure. When he missed the yellow, he would have been expecting to be 2-0 down. Yeah, played that very nicely. We can pot this red now. Just play a little glance off the pack. Try to get on the black. Nicely played.
Of course, he's from York. He played for a long time at the Northern Snooker Centre, which is a wonderful club, one of the oldest clubs in the country, but made the decision to move to Landywood in the West Midlands, which I think was quite interesting because he had good practice partners at the Northern. It's a lovely club, and he could commute from home, but wanted a bit of independence and wanted to try and improve and play other players, and that's to his credit. He didn't just sort of settle for what he had. He went looking for a different experience, and that's a great club as well. Very well regarded club, the Landywood.
Yeah, both great clubs, Northern Snooker Centre and Landywood. I must say, Landywood is one of the nicest clubs I think I've ever been in.
Yeah, I mean, when he went there, he's at the age where, his friends may have gone to university. It's that age where you do, get a bit of independence, and he's made that same decision, albeit staying, of course, very much in snooker. So, you got to credit the work he's putting in to just try and get these improvements.
Taking these nicely so far. He's got 2 open reds he can play for. He's got a nice angle on this blue though, so could go into the pack. He did. And he's a little bit unlucky. May still be able to pot this red. As you see the shot again, hit them pretty well. Well, foul called. Yeah, and I think Liam did say, yeah, it was a push shot, so...
He'd had that look about it. To be honest, though, it doesn't really matter because he missed the red anyway. That's the more concerning thing. The 4 points, okay, but it's the fact that he missed. He would have left Lou in regardless with a chance here. Well, not exactly position A.
Why is he looking to take this green on? Certainly is. Well, a very confident shot. Well played.
Yeah, I mean, as a character, he gives nothing away, does he? He's one of these, and there's been plenty in snooker down the years, completely inscrutable, but just clearly fancied that, took it on, got it. Fair play.
Yeah, we might have a little contrast in styles when he plays Rob Milkins a little bit later, Dave.
Yes. But misses that one, so just a very sort of mixed performance from Liu Wenway. I mean, probably that great green to recover and then misses this red.
Yeah, and he got himself nicely on the black as well. Could have been a couple of key shots, could have really got himself with a good chance in this frame. Slightly wrong side of the blue, but the red up the top end of the table in the bulk end is going to be okay for him. Play it to the middle pocket.
6.
That's not a good shot. Wasn't the easiest of positional shots, but he'd certainly like to have that one again.
No, this match is just becoming about trying to get the 3 frames on board. The performance maybe can improve as the day goes on. You'll have to, for either player, with Slessor and Milkins in this group. It's a tough group. Well, another big mistake. So Liam Pullen just being given more chances.
Already leads by 30 points, so won't need the 2 more goodly placed reds on the side cushions. Struck that one nicely.
Another player with one very dominant eye, as we saw there.
Yeah, and he's just, I think he had a bit of a bounce off that side cushion. Wanted to be the other side of this pink, so he could just stand it in and played the bottom of those 2 reds. Now he's looking as like he's going to have to pop this pink and screw across.
Caught the red on the cushion and it's left him nowhere. He's got a 41-point lead. There's still 59 on. He'd be disappointed because Liu Wenway has, since failing to win that second frame, has started to make a lot of mistakes, and Liam Pullen must fancy this match is there for the taking.
Well, Liu can get through here. He can take this red on to the left corner. Missed the red by quite a distance, and he'd be absolutely delighted with the way it's finished. Thought Liu might ask for a re-rack there, Dave.
I'd love to see that, actually.
Well, that's actually worked out okay. He's brought the black into a much better position.
I think that's one of my favourite moments so far of the Championship League, where Liam Pullen in that last frame asked for the re-rack and was just completely blanked. Not even an acknowledgement.
Two reds to the left hand side, but I'd certainly want to get this red into play if I could. It's 41 points behind, so doesn't want anything near a cushion. Whereas Liam Pullen will just be playing this and pushing that one red as close as he can to the cushion.
Oh, terrific pot, and that feels like a frame winner. Only needs one more red after this green.
Yeah, he took his time there to work that one out, and what an excellent shot that was. See it again. Just look where he leaves the cue ball. That red he took on, he'd worked out that that was the only one he could leave, and he knew if he gets it, he should win the frame.
Well, there's no doubt what happened at the end of frame 2 has made a massive difference. It should have been 2-0, really. Liu Wenway had the chance, but didn't take it, left that blue over the pocket. Pullen potted blue and pink. Lou has struggled a bit in this frame. Liam Pullen has visibly grown stronger, and now every chance, assuming he has won this one, to win the match. And that's without being at his very best, but the red he just potted to get in here really will please him.
Yeah, he'd be absolutely delighted with the way he's played to be 2-1 in front.
Struggling with the rest, isn't he? Another shot he's missed, so 2 snookers needed. Maybe what it is, he's so tall, he doesn't use the rest that often.
That was the reason I was so good with it.
Well, it can work both ways, I suppose. But Lou, he's just really struggling now. So Pullen just needs to make sure of this red, and there's no way back for his opponent in this frame. Well, he hasn't done that, and well, we'll see whether that comes back to bite him, because that was frame over for sure.
Yeah, just should have potted that red there. No need to play the screw shot to get them onto the colour. Just pot the red. I'm sure Lee wouldn't have come back to the table. But surely now Liam Pullen will finally wrap up this third frame.
Well, he stayed positive, and he now has the chance to match what Elliot Slessor did against Robert Milkins, and that's win 3-1. Of course, he stays on to play Milkins and set up the final match with Slessor as being effectively the group decider. That's the plan here. Second seed, because they always play the second and third match, you're looking for at least 4 points. Of course, you'd prefer 6, but if you get at least 4, it means you're guaranteed to go into the last match still with a chance to win the group. And I think he'll be very confident now taking 3 from this match. Well, he was determined to pot all of these, just get a bit of fluency going, because it's been a very stop-start match, this. But Liam Pullen certainly favourite now to win 3-1. We'll see whether Lou Wenway can rally and get the draw. But Liam Pullen has hit the front by 2 frames to 1. And it's just gone on the other table 2-0 to Martin O'Donnell over Anthony Kowalski. Again, no heavy hitting in that match in terms of breaks, but O'Donnell kind of doing what he does and just controlling the exchanges. After that match, he stays on to play Hamad Mir. Of course, we know Pullen stays on to play Robert Milkins. Both groups concluding here this evening. So just to remind you how it all works, we've got 32 groups of 4 players in the first stage, which is what we're in now. So we've got 14 players through already to stage 2. A total of 32 players come through. They're all split again into 8 groups of 4. The winner of each of those going to 2 final groups of 4 on the last day. And the winner of each of the last 2 groups will contest a knockout final against each other, best of 5, to claim the title. So it's a long tournament, 21 days, but players are only required actually to play for a maximum of 3 days. And it's all about July the 15th, the last day, 2 weeks tomorrow, to decide the champion. And there's the money they're playing for. The overall winner, 20,000, but that's plus the money they've earned along the way, which is another 13, so it's 33,000. The one place you don't want to finish in the whole tournament, as we know, is last in this stage. You get no money. If you win the group, 3,000. You're guaranteed another one at least, and the chance to keep the money going up and up until hopefully you're the last man standing in, well, as I say, 2 weeks tomorrow it all concludes. And it is a world ranking event, so that's also ranking points as well, which is very handy early in the season. Of course, the Players' Series, long way till the first one in February in Hong Kong, the World Grand Prix, but it's a little chance to get ahead in that race. Anyway, Liam Pullen 2-1 up. Let's see if he can get the 3 points, or can Liu Wenway just pull himself together a bit in this 4th frame.
Yeah, Liu's game has suffered from not winning that 2nd frame when he should have. So see if he can get himself back together and get a draw out of this match. Wouldn't be the worst result. But if Liam could get a 3-1 win out of this match, the way he's played, he'd be absolutely delighted. It's a good opening red. Fortunately, he's just nudged the black into an awkward position, but he's on the blue. Play this between the green and brown. Lots of right-hand side. He's got to pot the blue though.
Yeah, I'm pulling 1.
Never easy when you play it with a lot of side, but didn't expect him to miss it, and worse still, I think Liu can get to the potting angle of this red by the black. And he could.
1.
He's played it into the reds. He's brought quite a few reds into play, and he's on the black.
Keebles just kept running a little there. He missed the odd ball unexpectedly. He stayed positive at all times. He'd gone for his shots. He potted that green in the last frame, but this needs some attention.
No.
Yeah, played that very nicely. It's a nice 59 break in the opening frame. Just losing that second frame just unsettled him a little bit. But if he could get out of this
12.
with a 2-2 draw, still be well in this group.
13.
And both Elliot Slessor and Rob Milkins will be watching this. He'll be hoping that Lou can get a draw as well.
$16. $17.
Still got one more loose red, but well, it looks like he's going to play for that loose red. Got
24.
another loose red after this one behind the black. Then he's going to have to start thinking about leaving a
25.
nice angle to develop these reds. Hey, two reds that are directly above the black. He might pot into the middle pocket. He can play a cannon. He's played the cannon, played it well.
$32.
Well, Liam Pullen was in, he missed that blue. And Lou Wenway just starting to grow stronger.
$33.
You kind of miss the blue not being on its spot, though, don't you? It's so handy there in the middle of the table. Of course, it is where it is because Pullen missed it.
It's another well-struck shot.
35. $36.
But that's not the best. Can just roll it in, play for the red closest to the bottom cushion, but he's actually played that quite nicely. He's
43.
nicely on this red now, so pot this red, get a nice angle on the black.
$44.
He's got a nice angle, so pot the black. If he gets a nice split, could be set to win this frame. Doesn't look to be anything on there.
51.
But he's got a 50-point lead. Yeah, it was a decent effort.
You one way. 51.
Yeah, just didn't get the split he was looking for, as you say. If he had done, I'm sure he would have gone on to win that frame.
love to have seen that cue ball just drop in behind that yellow. But he has left a possibility for Liu. Can pop this red into the right hand corner. So 50 points in it, but balls are situated very nicely for a clearance. If Liam Pullen can get the chance. Possibility of a long red. He's not turned a lot down, so looks like he's going to take it on. No. Possibly got one into the left corner as well. While he's back to the one in the right corner. One good pot. Could be a frame winner. Well, he was really worried there about cannon in the red and having missed. Okay, he's left this red on for Liam Pullen, but could have left him something a little bit easier than this.
Big shot, isn't it? Because as you say, there's nothing safe really. If you can pot it, get on a colour, it's a big chance, even though he's 50 behind. No. And he's left a much easier red for Liu Wenway. So Pullen feels it's over. Let's see. In terms of this frame, of course, it would be a draw in the match.
1.
Wow. Wow.
Liu
What a
Wenway,
ball to
1.
miss. And Pullen, you look at in his seat, he convinced his chance had gone.
Yeah, he just underscrewed the red for the blue, but still didn't expect him to miss it.
Well, it's huge in the group, this, because, of course, as you say, you know, Slessor and Milkins will be determined this will be a draw. But maybe not now after this miss.
Judged the cannon and the red very nicely.
8. Nine.
Sure, when he missed the red into the left-hand corner, would have almost been ready to concede this frame.
It's such an emotional roller coaster, isn't it? Things can change so quickly. And you have to be sort of mentally prepared.
14.
So he's just managed to reset here. Big visit in the course of the day for Liam Pullen, this.
15.
Well, he's missed a few with the rest, hasn't he, in this match? More than a few, actually. So, let's see. This is maybe the most important of them all. But he's not missed that one.
22.
difficult red. Oh, beautifully played.
23.
That's the best shot he's played, I think. Struck that one beautifully. What a chance he's got now. Here we see the red again. Yeah, struck that one beautifully. Just come a little bit in between middle pocket and corner pocket. Played it well. Could have just done with that cue ball running a little bit further. He can pot the brown, but he's going away from the yellow. Still should be okay though. Oh, he's missed the brown.
Then Pullen 29.
Well, a reprieve, Liu Wenway. Just about getting on this green now. He just needs yellow and green. There's the miss. Not too close, actually. Probably some good balls to that point.
Two.
Is he on the green? Doesn't look like it.
Well, not sure. Liu Wenway wants to win this frame. And a great chance. Just wanted that cue ball. Just to run that little bit further. Well, has he got the cover? I think he has. And if he has, he's been incredibly fortunate.
Very lucky. Sort of butchered the shot, really, but got second prize. Well, he's going to get a chance at the green, which is all he needs. I mean, 2-2 feels like a great result for Liu Wenway, because his game after that second frame he failed to win kind of collapsed a bit. Well, look at that. I mean, I suppose if you look at it absolutely rationally, you're thinking, well, I'm glad he didn't pot it. But, I mean, he's had another massive result to get the snooker. Of course, he's got to hit this. 24 behind, 25 on. He's got to hit this green. Yeah, good hit.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Liu's had a couple of really good chances. He was very unlucky when he made the 50 break earlier and split the pack, but he's had two great chances since then. Actually played a pretty decent shot there. Could possibly have the snooker.
Yeah, and that was played this time. And again, okay, you expect him to hit it, but must get it safe. Well, he's not hit it, so snooker needed, and this could be a free ball.
4. Liu Wenway 4.
Either way, he needs a snooker now.
Yeah, and it'd be
Pink ball.
very relieved. Liu Wenway
suddenly it's no problem knocking those in. Now the frame's basically won. So yeah, like you say, he diced with death there considerably. But Liam Pullen, he had the chance, didn't he? He was clearing up Mr. Brown, so he did have the chance. He's going to finish in a draw, a point apiece. Good result for particularly Elliot Slessor, of course, who's on 3. So Pullen, in terms of challenging Slessor later, he's going to have to beat Robert Milkins, and that is no easy task, of course. The Milkman not necessarily out of this himself yet.
Wenway 6.
Pullen is coming back, but he's 34 behind with 22 on, so it's a tall order, clearly.
Half chance here to get cue ball in behind the black.
Wenway has just got to avoid doing anything daft here. Knocking balls around and risking knocking balls in, because very, very unlikely he's going to lose the frame from here. Just to say, Martin O'Donnell still 2-0. He's 28 in front, 35 on in the next. So they're on the last red. O'Donnell needing just that ball to win 3-0 against Anthony Kowalski. And the Brown goes in, and the handshake comes, the concession. So 2-2. Liam Pullen and Lou Wenway share a point apiece. Pullen stays on in 5 minutes' time. He plays Robert Milkins.